Welcome to Lost at 3 a.m. Put your phone down, close your eyes, and let this be the last video you hear tonight. Relax, breathe, and let's begin. Tonight, we're taking a step back in time to a game that often gets overlooked, but has a certain charm all its own: Wii Music. Released by Nintendo in 2008, Wii Music is one of those games that you might not have played for hours, but it's definitely the kind of experience that leaves a smile on your face. What makes Wii Music stand out isn't its complex gameplay or intense challenges. It's the whimsical, carefree experience that encourages players to play music, jam with friends, and most of all, have fun without worrying about being perfect. It's simple, it's joyful, and it's a little quirky. In this video, we're going to dive into the world of Wii Music, exploring its unique gameplay, memorable moments, and how it found its place in the vast library of Nintendo games. Whether you played it back in the day or you've never touched it at all, you'll see how Wii Music captured the spirit of creativity and joy that Nintendo is known for. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the hidden details and the lasting charm of Wii Music. To understand Wii Music, we first need to take a look at how it came to be. Released in 2008 for the Nintendo Wii, Wii Music wasn't your typical video game. Developed by Nintendo, with Shigeru Miyamoto, the mastermind behind classics like Super Mario and The Legend of Zelda, at the helm, the game was designed to be a fun, interactive musical experience, not a traditional rhythm or music game. Unlike games like Guitar Hero or Dance Dance Revolution, which focused on competitive gameplay or perfecting your skills, Wii Music was all about creativity and having fun with music. Nintendo wanted to create a game that encouraged players to explore the world of sound and rhythm without the pressure of performance or mastery. It was about playfulness, experimentation, and above all, enjoying the process of making music. When the Wii was in its prime, Nintendo was known for its innovative and family-friendly approach to gaming. Wii Music was no exception. Its main selling point was the motion controls. Players could use the Wii Remote and nunchuck to simulate playing real-world instruments, from guitars to drums, violins to pianos. The game was designed to make music accessible to anyone, regardless of experience or age. With no need for musical knowledge or perfection, Wii Music became an exploration of sound, a digital sandbox where you could jam, improvise, and create your own compositions. But despite being backed by the genius of Miyamoto and the innovation of the Wii's motion controls, Wii Music didn't quite hit the mainstream the way Nintendo's other titles did. While it received a lot of attention at launch and garnered curiosity for its unique premise, the game's focus on creativity and casual fun didn't quite appeal to everyone. It lacked the competitive structure and complex gameplay that other music games at the time offered, leaving some players unsure of how to engage with it. That said, Wii Music still carved out a place in gaming history, becoming a beloved curiosity among fans of the Wii and Nintendo's broader lineup. Its charm lies in its simplicity, offering a fun, low-pressure musical experience that remains a bit of a hidden gem in the Wii's catalogue of titles. Despite its mixed reviews and commercial reception, Wii Music holds a special spot for those who experienced its quirky, carefree take on making music. So while Wii Music may not have been a blockbuster hit, it remains an important part of Nintendo's legacy of pushing boundaries and trying something new. It's a game that reminds us that sometimes the joy of gaming comes not from competition or perfection, but from creativity and fun. When you first think of a music game, you might picture something with complicated controls or strict rhythms. Think Guitar Hero or Beat Saber. But Wii Music turned those ideas upside down with its simple, intuitive controls that focus more on creativity and fun than precision. In Wii Music, the gameplay revolves around motion controls using the Wii Remote and nunchuck, which allows you to play instruments by mimicking the motions of actual musicians. Want to strum a guitar? Simply swing the Wii Remote like a guitar pick. Want to bang the drums? Grab the nunchuck and Wii Remote like drumsticks and tap along to the beat. Each instrument reacts differently to your movements, making it a surprisingly immersive experience for those just starting to explore music. But here's the twist: there's no need to be perfect. Unlike many traditional rhythm games, whimsical doesn't penalize you for missing a note or not hitting the beat exactly right. Instead, it encourages you to experiment with sound. You can speed up, slow down, or play freely with no strict requirements. It's about playing music your way without worrying about mistakes or scorecards. If you feel like improvising, go ahead. If you want to try playing with an orchestra of virtual instruments, you can do that too. One of the most unique features is the game's jam mode, where you can join a virtual band and play along to popular songs. The game doesn't focus on scoring high or completing missions. Instead, it's about the joy of making music. The game offers a variety of instruments, from pianos to violins to wind instruments, and you can control different sections of the orchestra, adding layers of sound and harmony. You can create your own interpretations of classic tunes, turning them into jazz renditions, classical performances, or even quirky, offbeat versions. For some, it might feel a bit aimless. Without the challenge of a high score or time limit, whimsical doesn't offer the structured gameplay we often expect. But that's exactly what makes it so refreshing. The focus is on play and creativity. Players are encouraged to explore and have fun with the music. It's like a musical sandbox where you can just be yourself, no matter how offbeat or unconventional your playstyle is. The game also includes a music video feature, allowing you to perform with your virtual band and watch your performance as a fun, colourful music video. It's a light-hearted and entertaining way to see the fruits of your musical labour, even if you didn't follow the traditional rules of a music game. In essence, whimsical takes the concept of playing music and redefines it in a way that's accessible to everyone. Whether you're jamming solo or creating a band with friends, the game creates a fun, non-competitive environment that makes music feel less intimidating and more like a group activity to share and enjoy. So, if you've ever wanted to feel like a maestro without the pressure of hitting every note perfectly, whimsical gave you that chance. It was a game that embraced imperfection and allowed players to create their own musical experiences without worrying about getting everything just right. One of the most delightful aspects of whimsical is the vast array of instruments available to players. Unlike other music games, where you might be limited to just one or two instruments, whimsical offers a variety of different instruments from different sections of the orchestra, each with its own unique sound and feel. Whether you're jamming on drums, playing the piano, or conducting an entire band, the game allows you to explore a musical playground where every instrument brings something different to the table. The game's instruments aren't just about pressing buttons or hitting notes in time. They're about using motion controls to mimic real-world instruments. The Wii Remote and Nunchuk allow you to interact with the instruments in a way that's intuitive and fun. Want to strum a guitar? Simply swing the Wii Remote like you would a pick. Feel like playing the violin? Hold the Wii Remote like a bow and use the nunchuck to simulate the strings. Want to tap along to the rhythm of the drums? Grab the nunchuck and Wii Remote like drumsticks and hit the beat. You can play a range of traditional and non-traditional instruments. On the traditional side, you have the piano, violin, trumpet, saxophone, guitar, and drums, just to name a few. Each instrument offers a different experience, with some being more rhythm-based, like the drums, while others require a bit more finesse, like the piano or violin. The beauty of these instruments is that they don't require any formal music knowledge to play, making it easy for players of all ages and abilities to pick up and enjoy. Then there are the more whimsical, unconventional instruments, like the maracas, tambourine, or even the bongo drums. These instruments add a sense of fun and playfulness to the game, allowing you to experiment with sounds in creative ways. There's even a handbell that you can shake to produce bright, chime-like sounds, which perfectly encapsulates whimsical's light-hearted, carefree approach to music making. And if you're feeling adventurous, you can create a full orchestra. In certain modes, you can switch between different sections of the orchestra, controlling the strings, brass and percussion to create a more complex performance. You can layer these instruments together to produce harmonies or to play solos, allowing you to craft your own musical masterpiece. What makes this all so charming is that there are no strict rules or right or wrong ways to play the instruments. You can experiment freely with different sounds and styles, creating melodies or rhythms that are uniquely yours. It's a musical sandbox where the goal isn't to play the right note, but to simply have fun with the sounds you make. In a way, Wii Music turned the entire game into a virtual orchestra with the Wii Remote and Nunchuck as your instruments. It was about play and exploration, whether you were mimicking real-life performances or creating something entirely new. The variety of instruments available gave players endless opportunities to discover new sounds and experiment with music, making it feel like a creative outlet rather than a traditional video game. So whether you're a seasoned musician or someone with no musical experience at all, Wii Music gave everyone a chance to become part of their own virtual band, free to express themselves through sound and creativity. The instruments in Wii Music turned the game into an interactive musical experience that encouraged both novice and experienced players to make music in their own way. At its core, Wii Music is a celebration of music, and one of the ways it stands out is through its unforgettable and unique take on some of the most iconic songs in gaming and pop culture. While the game's mechanics focus on creativity and experimentation, its music is what truly ties everything together, giving players the opportunity to reimagine beloved tracks in fun and unexpected ways. One of the key features of Wii Music is how it reinterprets classic Nintendo songs. Whether it's the Super Mario Bros. Theme, Zelda's main theme, or the iconic Metroid soundtrack, Wii Music takes these familiar melodies and transforms them into jazzy, orchestral, or even experimental renditions. These versions aren't just simple covers, they reimagine the originals, turning them into entirely new musical experiences. Take the Super Mario Bros. Theme, for example. In Wii Music, it's not just a standard rendition. It could be transformed into a lively jazz number with trumpets and saxophones, or perhaps a slow, classical piano piece, depending on how you play it. This creative approach not only makes the music feel fresh, but it also allows players to experience these iconic themes in new and fun ways. It's like hearing your favorite song from a completely different perspective. The game also allows you to perform these songs with a variety of instruments, letting you experiment with how different sections of the orchestra or band can change the overall tone of the piece. Want to take the Zelda theme and give it a dramatic, violin-heavy twist? Or perhaps you want to turn the Metroid theme into a quirky, upbeat tune with bongos and maracas. The possibilities are endless, and it's all about having fun and adding your own personal touch to these classic melodies. Aside from the Nintendo staples, Wii Music also featured a variety of other well-known songs from pop culture, turning them into playful and light-hearted renditions. From classics like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, to other well-known public domain tunes, Wii Music invites you to take part in something familiar, while giving you the freedom to rework and reinterpret the song in whatever style you prefer. It's the perfect blend of nostalgia and creativity, all wrapped up in a musical experience that's easy to jump into. But perhaps the most important impact of Wii Music's music is that it made players feel like they could create, rather than just listen. The game wasn't just about pressing buttons to match the beat. It was about experimenting, improvising, and reworking songs to fit your own vision. This approach to music brought a sense of ownership to the players, allowing them to transform well-known tracks into something that felt uniquely theirs. By giving players the freedom to reinterpret iconic music in their own way, Wii Music created a bridge between familiarity and creativity. It allowed you to rediscover beloved tracks while also inspiring you to experiment and have fun with the sounds. That's part of what made the music in Wii Music so impactful. It wasn't just about playing the notes, but about reshaping them into something new. It was a celebration of music's playful and creative nature, and a testament to how games can bring us closer to the magic of sound. One of the most fun and relaxed aspects of Wii Music is the jam mode, which allows players to truly explore their creativity and make music in a way that feels more like a playful experiment than a structured game. In jam mode, you get the chance to play alongside pre-recorded tracks and instruments, creating your own unique performances by blending and layering different sounds. The beauty of jam mode is in its simplicity and openness. You don't need to follow any specific rhythm or beat. There are no rules or scorecards telling you when you've played well or not, just a pure opportunity to play music however you want. You can freely choose from a wide variety of instruments like drums, piano, guitar, and even more unique ones like maracas or tambourines. From there, you can mix and match instruments to form your own virtual band, adjusting the tempo, the volume of different instruments, and how they interact with each other. The experience feels incredibly organic and free. Maybe you start off by playing the guitar riff of a familiar song, and then decide to add in some drums for rhythm. Or perhaps you create an entire section of violins and horns, layering them together in ways that bring a sense of fun and spontaneity. The joy of jam mode is that you can create something entirely new each time you play, without worrying about mistakes or perfection. It's about making music just for the fun of it, experimenting with sound to see what works and what doesn't. There's also a sense of collaboration in jam mode. While you're technically jamming alone, it still feels like you're part of a group. By picking different instruments and blending them together, you're essentially creating a band, even if it's a band of one. And while the game doesn't require you to play with other players, Wii Music encourages this social, collaborative side of music making, where friends and family can jump in and add their own instruments to the mix, building off one another's creations. This mode also allowed you to pick from a variety of different musical styles. You could jam out to jazzy renditions of Super Mario Bros., or dive into a classical reimagining of Zelda. The range of musical genres and moods in jam mode gives you the freedom to try different combinations and see how each instrument sounds in different settings. Maybe a high-energy rock version of Twinkle, Twinkle Little Star is what you're feeling, or perhaps a smooth jazz take on the Metroid theme would better suit the moment. The ability to experiment freely with these different musical styles made jam mode a standout feature. It turned Wii Music from a simple game into a musical playground where players could create their own songs, explore new genres, and have fun making sound with absolutely no pressure. It wasn't about getting it right or playing a song the traditional way. It was about playing for the sake of playing, creating music that felt good to you in the moment. Whether you were just starting out and wanted to experiment with different instruments, or you were a seasoned musician looking to unwind and have fun, jam mode gave everyone the chance to get creative. It was the perfect blend of freedom and play, a reminder that music isn't about perfection, it's about expression, fun, and the joy of making something that's entirely your own. Despite being a product of Nintendo's creativity and innovation, Wii Music didn't achieve the commercial success or critical acclaim that many other Wii games did. While the game had its charm, and certainly appealed to a certain audience, it didn't quite resonate with the mass market the way games like Super Mario Galaxy or Wii Sports did. So, what happened? Why didn't Wii Music become the next big thing? One of the key reasons lies in the game's unique approach to gameplay. Wii Music was designed to be a casual, non-competitive music game, where players could experiment with sounds and play along to songs without the pressure of precision or perfect timing. While this concept might sound appealing to some, it wasn't the experience many gamers were expecting or craving at the time. Games like Guitar Hero and Rock Band were all the rage, offering players a more structured and challenging rhythm-based experience. Players had to hit specific notes, master the mechanics, and compete for high scores. which provided a more traditional gameplay experience. Wii Music, on the other hand, was much more open-ended, with no defined goals, high scores, or traditional winning conditions. This lack of structure may have been refreshing to some, but it also left many players feeling uncertain about how to engage with the game. Without the clear competitive framework of other music games, Wii Music might have seemed aimless to some players, especially those expecting a more familiar experience from the genre. Another criticism came from the game's lack of challenge. While the motion controls were fun and intuitive, there was no real pressure to improve your skills. You didn't need to perfect your performance or progress through levels in a meaningful way. The lack of challenge, which was meant to make the game accessible to all players, ultimately made it feel less rewarding for some. In a time when players were gravitating toward games that offered a sense of accomplishment and measurable progress, Wii Music just didn't fit that mold. Additionally, Wii Music was released in the wake of some huge hits on the Wii, including Wii Fit and Super Smash Bros. Brawl, making it harder for the game to capture the spotlight. The Wii's library of games was already packed with massive, high-profile titles that demanded attention, and Wii Music was often overshadowed by the more action-packed and widely celebrated experiences. The commercial reception also reflected this struggle. Wii Music sold well, but it didn't hit the same sales milestones as other Wii games, and its critical reviews were often mixed. Some appreciated its unique concept and the freedom it offered, but others felt the game didn't live up to expectations, considering it a more limited experience compared to other music-based games. The lack of a clear narrative or objectives left some players feeling that the game didn't have enough depth to hold their attention for long periods of time. Despite these criticisms, Wii Music found its niche. It became a cult favorite for players who enjoyed its freeform, creative approach to music and appreciated the relaxing, non-competitive experience. For families and younger players, it provided a perfect introduction to music and rhythm without the pressure of traditional game mechanics. And while it might not have reached the same level of mainstream success as other Wii titles, it remains a charming and whimsical entry in Nintendo's diverse catalogue. Ultimately, Wii Music was ahead of its time in some ways, offering an experimental, no-pressure music experience that didn't demand perfection, but instead embraced creativity. While it may not have been a massive hit, its playful spirit, family-friendly nature, and non-competitive charm still hold a special place for those who took the time to dive into its musical world. While Wii Music may not have been a massive commercial success or critical darling when it was first released, its lasting legacy is undeniable. Over time, it's become one of those hidden gems in Nintendo's vast library of games. A quirky experience that continues to be remembered fondly by those who spent time with it. Though it didn't top the sales charts or garner the same level of attention as Super Mario or The Legend of Zelda, Wii Music carved out its own special place in gaming history. One of the key elements of Wii Music's legacy is the way it challenged traditional ideas of what a music game could be. At a time when rhythm games like Guitar Hero and Rock Band were thriving, offering structured, competitive gameplay, Wii Music took a completely different approach. It removed the pressure of hitting the right notes or competing for high scores, and instead gave players a more open-ended experience. By focusing on creativity and playfulness, Wii Music allowed players to create music on their terms, something that few games at the time offered. It was less about precision and more about fun, a refreshing take for those looking for a more casual and accessible experience. The game's emphasis on experimentation also set it apart from other titles. In Wii Music, there was no one right way to play. You could pick an instrument, jam to your heart's content, and see where the music took you. Whether it was creating your own version of the Super Mario Bros. Theme, or experimenting with different instruments and genres, Wii Music allowed players to explore and discover new sounds without the fear of failure. This open-ended creativity laid the groundwork for many other games that would later embrace similar ideas. Games like Mario Maker and even Lego Music Maker that encouraged user-generated content and creative expression. Another aspect of Wii Music's legacy is how it captured the spirit of the Wii console itself. The motion controls, the non-competitive nature, and the focus on fun and accessibility were all key to the Wii's philosophy. The console was built for everyone, from hardcore gamers to people who had never touched a game before, and Wii Music embodied that same spirit. It wasn't a game for hardcore players or those seeking deep, complex challenges. It was designed to be a light, entertaining experience that anyone could enjoy. In this sense, Wii Music was a perfect reflection of the Wii's broader mission. While it may not have reached the heights of other Nintendo titles, Wii Music still holds a place in the hearts of those who appreciate its charm. Its ability to introduce players of all ages to the joy of music, without the need for any formal training, was groundbreaking in its simplicity. It reminded us that music isn't about perfection, it's about having fun, experimenting, and expressing yourself. For many, Wii Music remains a nostalgic piece of the Wii era, a game that's fondly remembered not for its sales or critical reception, but for the joy it brought to its players. Even years after its release, Wii Music continues to be a conversation starter for those who remember it fondly. Whether it's the memorable Super Mario Bros. Theme, played on virtual violins, or the hilarious motion controls that made you feel like a conductor, Wii Music will always be remembered for the way it brought music and gaming together in a fun, low-pressure way. And while it may not have been a massive hit at the time, its legacy is a reminder of Nintendo's willingness to take risks and try something new. And in that way, Wii Music remains as unique and special as the music it inspired. When you think of Wii Music, it's hard not to recall the iconic commercial that became almost as memorable as the game itself. Released alongside the game in 2008, the commercial captured the light-hearted, whimsical nature of Wii Music, but it also became a viral sensation for a different reason. Its awkward, somewhat goofy portrayal of people playing instruments with Wii controllers. The commercial featured a group of people playing various instruments with the Wii remote and nunchuck, all set to the cheerful strains of a simple melody. The performers were shown joyfully conducting their virtual instruments in exaggerated motions. But it was the odd, somewhat out-of-place energy of the commercial that stuck with people. The humor wasn't in the script or dialogue. It was in the sheer awkwardness of watching adults pretend to play maracas, drums, and guitars using motion controls in a room filled with enthusiastic, exaggerated motions. In many ways, the commercial perfectly captured the essence of Wii Music. It wasn't about precision or perfection. It was about fun, experimentation, and the joy of playing around with music. The commercial's quirky portrayal of the game's concept made it clear that Wii Music wasn't meant to be taken too seriously, and it invited players to laugh, play, and enjoy the experience without worrying about getting it right. But there's an added layer to this memorable commercial. Because of its somewhat awkward nature, it became the subject of countless internet memes, and it generated conversation long after it aired. For those who had never played Wii Music, the commercial left them curious, wondering how such a game could turn something as seemingly simple as playing virtual instruments into such an unusual experience. It was a commercial that didn't just market the game, it sparked intrigue, discussion, and even amusement. Even though Wii Music itself didn't achieve the commercial success Nintendo might have hoped for, the commercial played a key role in its cultural impact. It was one of those rare marketing moments where the ad itself became a part of the conversation, keeping Wii Music in the public's eye for a little longer than it might have otherwise been. Looking back, the commercial perfectly encapsulated the spirit of Wii Music. It was playful, quirky, and a little bit strange. Just like the game itself, the commercial's light-hearted tone and silly depiction of the game helped to set expectations that Wii Music was all about fun, creativity, and not taking things too seriously. And while it may not have been the most polished or dramatic ad, it remains one of the most memorable marketing moments tied to the game. In a way, the commercial added to Wii Music's legacy, giving it a touch of eccentricity that people still talk about today. It's a reminder that sometimes, The things that don't take themselves too seriously are the ones that stick with us the longest. As we wrap up our exploration of Wii Music, it's clear that while it may not have been a massive commercial hit, it's become a beloved cult classic in its own right. Wii Music stands as a testament to Nintendo's commitment to creativity, fun, and pushing the boundaries of gaming in ways that no one else quite does. It's a game that didn't take itself too seriously, offering a refreshing break from the competitive, high-stakes gameplay of other music games. Instead, it allowed players to embrace their creativity and have fun with music, all while making no demands of perfection. In the years since its release, Wii Music has carved out a special place in the hearts of those who gave it a chance. It's remembered for its whimsical nature, its lack of pressure, and its ability to bring people together in a light-hearted, collaborative way. Whether it was jamming with friends or experimenting with instruments, Wii Music invited players to simply enjoy making sound and creating something new, without worrying about hitting the right notes or achieving the highest score. While its quirky mechanics and lack of traditional objectives may have turned some players off at first, it's exactly what made Wii Music so unique. Its focus on freedom, exploration, and fun set it apart from other music games, making it a perfect fit for Nintendo's casual gaming ethos. It was a game that appealed to players of all ages, from those with no musical experience to those who were just looking for a fun and creative escape. So, whether it was playing the Super Mario theme on virtual violins or just jamming out with a tambourine, Wii Music reminded us all of the joy of making music for the sake of making music. It wasn't about being the best. It was about having fun with friends, experimenting with sound, and celebrating the simple pleasures of creating something together. In the end, Wii Music will always be remembered as the game that didn't take itself too seriously, but left a lasting impact on those who took the time to dive into its world. It's the perfect example of how sometimes it's the quirky, unconventional games that stand the test of time, reminding us of the power of play, creativity, and music. Even if it wasn't a massive hit, Wii Music remains a beloved part of the Nintendo legacy, a game that, even years later, continues to bring smiles to those who remember its carefree charm.